No one expected this moment to arrive the way it did. There was no long countdown, no dramatic announcement ahead of time, just one sudden update that sent Duggar watchers into shock and curiosity all at once. Josie Duggar, long known as the youngest member of the famous family, was suddenly at the center of what sources are calling a wedding-style celebration that looked, felt, and unfolded like a full marriage event. It happened quietly at first, then all at once. Photos began circulating privately. Guests started talking. Family insiders hinted that something major had taken place. And then came the detail that made everyone stop scrolling. Jim Bob Duggar himself had arrived in person, not just as a guest, but as the organizer of the entire event. This was not a casual family gathering. This was big. This was planned. And this was deeply symbolic. According to people present at the scene, Josie Duggar was seated on a decorated stage, dressed formally, surrounded by relatives, well-wishers, and a crowd far larger than expected. The setup mirrored a traditional wedding environment. Floral arrangements, structured seating, formal greetings, and an atmosphere filled with congratulations, gratitude, and emotional speeches. What exactly was happening was not immediately explained, but the message was clear. Something life-changing was being celebrated. Sources say Jim Bob Duggar arrived later than some guests, making a noticeable entrance. When he did, attention shifted instantly. Witnesses describe him greeting attendees, overseeing arrangements, and personally acknowledging those who came to congratulate the young couple. His presence alone gave the event weight and legitimacy within Duggar family culture. And then came the name, James. Multiple attendees reportedly referred to a young man named James as Josie Duggar's husband or future husband, depending on who was speaking. Some called him her groom. Others referred to him as her son-in-law when speaking directly to Jim Bob. What stood out most was not just the title, but the tone. Affection, approval, warmth. People congratulated him openly. They shook his hand. They praised his manners. They spoke about him as if he were already fully accepted into the family circle. Several guests reportedly said the same thing. Everyone loves him. Everyone approves. Everyone is grateful. That reaction alone raised eyebrows. Because in the Duggar world, acceptance is not automatic. It is earned. And it is publicly shown. This is where everything starts to matter. Josie Duggar has grown up largely out of the public spotlight compared to her older siblings. Many viewers still remember her as the fragile youngest child, born prematurely, surrounded by concern and protection. Seeing her now, seated confidently at the center of a major family celebration, marked a powerful shift. Not a child anymore, not hidden, but presented. According to insiders, the event took place recently, though the exact date has not been officially released. The timing appears intentional. Quiet enough to control the narrative. Public enough to send a message. A transition. A milestone. A new chapter. Jim Bob Duggar's role cannot be ignored here. Those familiar with the family dynamics say nothing of this scale happens without his approval. More than that, he reportedly coordinated logistics, guest invitations, and the overall structure of the event. This was not a background role. This was leadership. Witnesses say he offered congratulations personally, thanked guests for attending, and spoke with visible pride. Several attendees described the atmosphere as respectful, emotional, and celebratory, without chaos or controversy. But here's the part that has everyone asking questions. There has been no official public statement, no confirmation post, no formal announcement. And yet, the celebration spoke louder than words. Why keep it quiet? Why now? Why this format? And why Josie? Those questions are only growing. Most people don't know this yet, but within the Duggar community, silence often means control. It means information is being managed carefully, and it means more details are expected to emerge, not all at once, but gradually. This affects more people than you think, because for longtime followers of the family, this moment signals a shift in how the youngest generation is being introduced to adulthood. Less television, less explanation, more controlled appearances, more private celebration. And that could change everything going forward. As guests continue to offer congratulations, many reportedly thanked Jim Bob Duggar for the arrangement. Gratitude was expressed openly. Some called the event beautiful. Others called it meaningful. A few described it as emotional, especially seeing Josie at the center of it all. The young man, identified as James, reportedly remained composed, polite, and reserved throughout the event. He did not seek attention. He accepted congratulations quietly. That demeanor only increased approval among attendees, who praised his humility and respect. By the end of the gathering, one thing was clear. This was not random. This was not casual. And this was not small. Something significant has happened in the Duggar family, and this was only the beginning. As the gathering came to a close, the questions only grew louder. Those who attended left with the same feeling. This was not just a family celebration, it was a statement. And the way it was handled revealed far more than what was said out loud. Insiders describe a carefully controlled atmosphere, one where every detail appeared intentional. From the seating arrangement to the order of greetings, nothing seemed accidental. And at the center of it all was Jim Bob Duggar, quietly guiding the flow of the event while allowing Josie Duggar to remain the visible focus. According to people familiar with the family's traditions, moments like these are deeply symbolic. When a Duggar daughter is presented publicly in this way, it signals a shift that goes beyond celebration. It suggests approval. It suggests readiness. And it suggests that a transition has already taken place, whether publicly confirmed or not. That is why the presence of extended family members, longtime friends, and respected community figures mattered so much. Their attendance alone added weight to the occasion. What stands out most is how the young man identified as James was treated. He was not introduced as an outsider. He was not kept on the margins. Instead, he was placed close to the family, acknowledged warmly, and addressed with respect that is usually reserved for someone already considered part of the inner circle. Several guests reportedly referred to him using family terms while speaking casually, not ceremonially. That detail has fueled speculation that the relationship is far more formal than anyone has officially admitted. Observers noted that Josie Duggar appeared calm and composed throughout the event. There were no signs of discomfort or uncertainty. Those who saw her up close described her as confident, engaged, and fully present. She greeted guests politely, accepted congratulations with grace, and remained poised even as attention followed her. For many, this was the most striking change. The youngest Duggar was no longer being protected or shielded. She was being introduced. Jim Bob Duggar's demeanor throughout the celebration also drew attention. Witnesses say he appeared relaxed, confident, and openly pleased. He reportedly thanked attendees repeatedly, expressing gratitude for their support and kind words. At no point did he attempt to deflect attention away from the couple. Instead, he allowed the focus to remain where it was, which in Duggar family dynamics is highly telling. When he approves, he shows it. And when he does not, the signs are unmistakable. But here is where everything becomes more complex. Despite the scale of the event and the reactions it generated, there has still been no formal confirmation released to the public. No official announcement, no statement, no post clarifying the nature of the celebration. This silence has led to intense discussion among those who follow the family closely. Some believe the family is choosing privacy. Others believe timing is being calculated carefully. And some believe this approach reflects a broader shift in how the Duggar family manages major life events. In recent years, the family has moved away from open documentation. What was once shared freely is now handled quietly. Sources suggest this change is intentional, designed to reduce scrutiny while maintaining control. If that is the case, then this celebration may represent a new model. Significant events acknowledged publicly through presence and symbolism rather than explicit confirmation. This matters for more reasons than one. Josie Duggar has always represented something unique within the family. As the youngest child, her milestones carry emotional weight, not just for her parents, but for siblings and supporters who watched her grow up. Seeing her at the center of a major life moment reminds many of how much time has passed. It also signals that the next generation is stepping forward, whether the public is fully prepared or not. The reaction from attendees reinforces this interpretation. Many reportedly expressed gratitude, not only to Jim Bob Duggar, but to the family as a whole. They thanked them for hosting, for including the community, and for allowing such a personal moment to be shared in a respectful setting. Several guests described the atmosphere as warm and sincere, rather than flashy or performative. That tone aligns closely with traditional Duggar values, further supporting the idea that this was a meaningful family event rather than a casual gathering. As for James, those who spoke about him did so consistently. He was described as respectful, soft-spoken, and grounded. People praised his manners. They noted how he interacted with elders. They commented on his attentiveness toward Josie. These details matter in Duggar culture, where character is closely observed and openly discussed. Approval is not given lightly, and when it is usually deliberate. What happens next remains unclear. Insiders say more information may surface gradually. Others believe the family will continue to let actions speak louder than words. Either way, the moment has already landed. The message has been received. Josie Duggar is no longer simply the youngest daughter. She is stepping into a new role, and the family has chosen to acknowledge it in a way that reflects their evolving approach to privacy and public life. Most people don't know this yet, but events like this often mark the beginning of further changes. New responsibilities, new expectations, and new boundaries between what is shared and what is kept private. For longtime observers, this moment feels like a turning point, not just for Josie, but for how the Duggar family presents itself going forward. This affects more people than you think. Families who have followed the Duggars for years see their own stories reflected here. Growing up, letting go, allowing the next generation to step forward on its own terms. Whether or not every detail is ever confirmed, the significance of the moment cannot be dismissed. As conversations continue and speculation grows, one thing is certain: this was not accidental, this was not spontaneous, and this was not small. It was deliberate, symbolic, and carefully handled. And as more details eventually come to light, this moment will likely be remembered as the point where everything quietly shifted. The day of the celebration reportedly began like any other family gathering. Quiet preparation, subtle movements, and hushed conversations filled the Duggar household. But as the hours passed, it became clear that this was no ordinary event. Friends and relatives, both near and far, started arriving. Cars lined the driveway. Staff moved efficiently, ensuring that every detail, every flower, every chair, every decorative element was perfectly in place. According to sources close to the family, the planning had been meticulous. Nothing was left to chance. At the center of it all was Josie Duggar. She appeared poised, calm, and fully aware of the weight of the moment. Some attendees described her as radiant, a mix of nervous energy and quiet confidence. It was clear that she understood this gathering was not just about celebration. It was about acknowledgement, a public statement without words about her readiness to step into the next chapter of her life. Jim Bob Duggar's presence loomed large throughout the day. Sources say he moved seamlessly between guests, speaking personally to each of them. He ensured seating arrangements were proper, that the order of events ran smoothly, and that the family's reputation for order and propriety remained intact. Those present reportedly felt both comforted and awed by his control over the proceedings. It was as if the room itself carried a sense of his authority, yet softened by genuine affection for Josie. The young man, identified as James, widely reported as Josie's partner, reportedly remained composed throughout the ceremony. Observers noted his attentiveness to Josie, his respect for family members, and his quiet presence, which seemed to gain approval from both close relatives and wider attendees. Several insiders mentioned that James's demeanor contributed significantly to the positive energy in the room. In Duggar family culture, character and comportment mattered deeply, and James reportedly demonstrated both in equal measure. One detail that stood out to multiple sources was the reaction of extended family members. Older siblings, cousins, and longtime family friends reportedly offered their congratulations with visible emotion. Some were moved to tears, others shared personal stories, advice, and blessings. The atmosphere, according to attendees, combined respect, joy, and deep gratitude. The tone of the gathering was formal yet personal, highlighting the balance the family often seeks between public display and private intimacy. Insiders also reported that the timing of the celebration was strategic. It coincided with a period when the family's activities were otherwise quiet, minimizing distractions and allowing this moment to take precedence. Some speculate that the careful timing was designed to maintain control over public perception, while still allowing a significant number of people to witness and participate in the event. It was a delicate balance, and those present suggest it was executed flawlessly. Throughout the day, subtle gestures underscored the significance of the event. Josie was often positioned in the center of attention, while James remained slightly to the side, absorbing the interactions with grace. Guests reportedly commented on the couple's composure, noting that despite the scale of the event, neither seemed overwhelmed. It was a study in balance and poise, observed by many as a sign of maturity and preparation for what comes next. The event reportedly concluded with a series of personal congratulations. Jim Bob Duggar is said to have personally thanked each attendee, reinforcing the family's values of acknowledgement and courtesy. Guests reportedly expressed deep gratitude in return, noting the effort and care evident in every detail. Many described the day as not only a celebration, but also a moment of reflection on family, loyalty, and the transition of one of the youngest members into adulthood. This is where everything changes. Observers are noting that events like this rarely happen without broader implications. Josie Duggar, once the youngest, now appears ready to assume new responsibilities, both publicly and privately. Her actions, demeanor, and the careful orchestration of the event suggest a deliberate effort to establish her position within the family structure. Most people don't know this yet, but the ripple effect is already being felt. Conversations online and within the family's community reflect surprise, admiration, and speculation. Supporters praise the composure and respect displayed by Josie and James, while others focus on the symbolism of Jim Bob Duggar's role. His visible approval, combined with the formal structure of the gathering, communicates a level of endorsement that insiders say is rare and significant. Another important aspect mentioned by sources is the emotional weight carried by the younger siblings and cousins present. Witnesses say they observed moments of reflection, quiet conversation, and subtle gestures that suggested the family recognized the importance of this day, not only for Josie, but also for the younger generation watching and learning. It was, in many ways, a lesson in family dynamics, maturity, and the responsibilities that come with age. Guests reportedly commented on the meticulous planning of the celebration. From the floral arrangements to the careful positioning of family members, Everything was designed to convey respect, love, and acknowledgement. Observers noted that the visual presentation reinforced the event's emotional impact. Every detail, they said, seemed intentional, reflecting both the family's values and the significance of Josie's transition into this new chapter. Finally, insiders suggest that this gathering may signal a broader shift in how the Duggar family handles major life events. In recent years, the family has moved toward more private celebrations, sharing select moments rather than full-scale public announcements. This event appears to blend both approaches, private enough to maintain control, public enough to convey the message of acceptance, respect, and family unity. The implications of this event go beyond just one day. They suggest that Josie Duggar is entering a period of increased autonomy, that James is being integrated fully into the family circle, and that the family is redefining how it balances privacy with public acknowledgement. Observers note that this is a significant moment for fans and followers who have watched Josie grow up. It reflects her maturation, the family's evolving approach to privacy, and the careful orchestration of life events in a highly scrutinized environment. Most people don't know this yet, but this is exactly the kind of moment that becomes a benchmark in family history. It sets expectations, demonstrates values, and signals future developments. For anyone observing, it is a reminder that even subtle shifts can carry enormous significance. This affects more people than you think, not just the immediate family, not just the Duggar community. Fans and observers around the world are paying attention, dissecting details, and analyzing implications. And as more information emerges, the significance of this event is only expected to grow. As word of the event spread among family friends and community members, reactions were immediate and varied. Some attendees described the atmosphere as joyous, filled with laughter, applause, and heartfelt congratulations. Others noted moments of quiet reflection, when the gravity of the celebration seemed to sink in. Every observer reportedly recognized that this was not just another family gathering. This was something larger, an event that marked a transition, a turning point, and a public acknowledgement of a new chapter in Josie Duggar's life. Sources say that Jim Bob Duggar's involvement shaped the entire tone of the day. He reportedly oversaw every detail with precision, ensuring that nothing was overlooked. From greeting guests personally to checking seating arrangements, to supervising staff behind the scenes, his role was both visible and authoritative. Attendees reportedly described him as calm, proud, and highly attentive, making certain that Josie's moment remained the central focus. According to insiders, his presence communicated approval, support, and legitimacy, something critical in Duggar family culture. Josie Duggar herself reportedly handled the day with remarkable poise. Observers noted that she smiled, accepted congratulations, and remained fully present despite the attention and the pressure. According to those present, she did not appear nervous or hesitant. Instead, she carried herself with quiet confidence. Some insiders suggest that this was a deliberate demonstration of maturity, a signal to both family and the wider community that she was ready for this significant transition. Meanwhile, James, the young man reportedly identified as her husband, was observed interacting respectfully with family members and guests. Sources emphasize that his composure and manners impressed everyone. He reportedly maintained a calm demeanor, engaged in polite conversation, and treated Josie with care and attentiveness. Witnesses repeatedly commented on the way he blended seamlessly into the family dynamic, signaling that he had already earned acceptance from those closest to Josie. But here's the part that caught attention. Observers noted subtle cues throughout the day that reflected the weight of the celebration. Family members were positioned intentionally, emphasizing both hierarchy and relationships. The order of speeches and greetings was carefully orchestrated. Even small gestures, like who handed gifts first or who sat closest to Josie, were reportedly planned to reflect respect, approval, and support. Sources say this level of planning is typical of high-profile Duggar events, where symbolism carries as much meaning as words. In addition to the formal aspects, emotional moments were reported. Guests described tears, whispered blessings, and expressions of gratitude that filled the room. Some family members reportedly shared personal reflections about growing up with Josie, the lessons they hoped she would carry forward, and the support she would always have from them. This blend of celebration and reflection, according to insiders, created a powerful and memorable atmosphere. The event also reportedly had a community dimension. Friends, neighbors, and extended family members were present, reflecting the Duggar tradition of including wider social circles in major milestones. Attendees described a sense of shared participation, where everyone felt invested in celebrating Josie's moment. This approach, according to sources, reinforced the family's values of community, respect, and collective support. Most people don't know this yet, but the day also highlighted the Duggar family's evolving approach to privacy and publicity. In recent years, major events have been handled more discreetly, with limited public documentation. This event, while visually significant and emotionally powerful, reportedly followed the same principle. Sources emphasize that while moments were shared within the community and among family friends, there was no formal public announcement. The family appears to be maintaining careful control over the narrative. Observers also pointed to the significance of guest interactions. According to insiders, everyone who approached the couple or Jim Bob Duggar reportedly offered sincere congratulations, personal reflections, and advice. The young guests reportedly observed older family members, learning, for example, the ways in which respect, acknowledgement, and support are expressed in this family culture. This, sources say, is a critical component of how milestones are passed down from one generation to the next. And then there's the matter of James's acceptance. Sources repeatedly emphasized that he was not treated as an outsider. He was greeted warmly, spoken about respectfully, and integrated into every aspect of the event. This, insiders say, is a sign of deep approval. In Duggar culture, such acceptance is earned, not given lightly. Observers also noted that his calm and respectful demeanor appeared to reinforce the family's trust in him, and their belief that he would honor Josie and the family's values. Why does this matter? Because the way the Duggar family handles transitions is often a reflection of broader family values. This event reportedly combined celebration, education, reflection, and formal acknowledgement. It was not just about marking a milestone, it was about showing how the family intends to guide, support, and present its youngest members as they take on new responsibilities. Most people don't know this yet, but insiders suggest that the event may set a precedent. Future gatherings, weddings, or presentations may follow a similar format, combining public acknowledgement with controlled messaging. This event, therefore, is not just a moment for Josie. It could represent a shift in family traditions and communication style. By the end of the day, according to attendees, the mood was both celebratory and contemplative. Laughter and applause were mixed with quiet conversations and reflective glances. The young couple reportedly expressed gratitude privately and accepted blessings openly. Guests left with the sense that they had witnessed something meaningful, something carefully managed, and something that would be remembered for years. This affects more people than you think. Followers of the family, casual observers, and even distant fans are now speculating on the significance of the day. The event reinforces themes of growth, transition, and public acknowledgement in the Duggar family. It also raises questions about what the family may choose to share publicly in the future. The story is far from over. Updates, reactions, and confirmations are expected gradually, as is typical with the family's approach. But one thing is clear. This was a landmark moment for Josie Duggar, a moment of recognition for James and a statement of family unity and tradition that has captured attention far beyond those present. The impact of this event is already rippling far beyond the walls of the Duggar household. Sources say conversations among family, friends, and longtime supporters indicate a shared understanding. Something significant has shifted, quietly but unmistakably. Josie Duggar is no longer simply the youngest daughter. She is stepping into a new phase of life, one that commands attention, respect, and recognition. This is not just a celebration. It is a signal, a public acknowledgement of transition, and a demonstration of approval from the very top of the family hierarchy. According to insiders, Jim Bob Duggar's involvement is central to understanding the significance of the day. His presence was not merely ceremonial. Observers report he was actively engaged in every part of the event. He greeted guests, oversaw arrangements, ensured everyone was positioned correctly, and maintained a visible presence throughout. This level of participation, insiders say, signals endorsement and approval at the highest level. In Duggar culture, where family structure and hierarchy are paramount, Jim Bob's visible support communicates that Josie and her partner, James, are fully embraced by the family. Those close to the couple reportedly described Josie's behavior as calm, confident, and engaged. She reportedly accepted congratulations with grace, interacted politely with attendees, and carried herself with a quiet sense of authority appropriate for someone entering a new chapter in her life. Witnesses noted that she seemed fully aware of the attention, yet handled it with poise. According to multiple sources, this display of composure surprised even some longtime family friends, who remarked on how much she has grown since childhood. James, meanwhile, was observed blending seamlessly into the family dynamic. Observers describe him as respectful, attentive, and composed. He reportedly interacted with both older and younger family members with equal courtesy, earning praise from many who attended. This kind of acceptance is notable in Duggar family culture, where character and behavior are closely observed and publicly acknowledged when merited. James's demeanor, insiders say, reinforced the family's confidence in him and their belief that he would uphold the values and responsibilities expected within the family. But here's the part that is creating the most buzz. While the event appeared public and ceremonial, there has been no official statement confirming Josie Duggar's marital status or the formal nature of the celebration. Sources say this is deliberate. The family has reportedly opted to let the actions speak louder than words, allowing the event itself to serve as the acknowledgement. This approach aligns with a trend observed in recent years, where the Duggar family balances public attention with privacy, carefully controlling how information is shared with fans and the media. Observers also noted several emotional moments during the gathering. Family members reportedly shared personal blessings, stories of growing up with Josie, and advice for the next stage of her life. Some guests reportedly expressed tears and heartfelt words, creating an atmosphere that combined celebration with reflection. According to sources, these moments underscored the gravity of the day and highlighted the deep bonds within the family. The careful orchestration of the event, from seating arrangements to the flow of congratulations, was also highlighted by insiders. They say every detail carried symbolic weight, signaling approval, respect, and family cohesion. Even subtle interactions, like who offered gifts first or how guests were acknowledged, were reportedly intentional, reflecting a deep understanding of tradition and public perception. Most people don't know this yet, but events like these often serve multiple purposes. They celebrate personal milestones, reinforce family hierarchy, demonstrate values, and send messages to both insiders and the wider public. For Josie Duggar, this event reportedly marked a formal entry into adulthood and symbolically communicated her readiness for new responsibilities, both within her immediate family and the broader Duggar circle. Sources suggest that the ripple effects of this celebration may continue to unfold over time. Observers are already speculating about future gatherings, potential announcements, and how the family will manage this transition publicly. The careful balance of visibility and discretion indicates that the family is acutely aware of its audience and the scrutiny surrounding any major life event involving its members. This affects more people than you might think. Fans, community members, and longtime observers are interpreting every detail. Every gesture, every smile, and every congratulatory remark carries meaning. Even without an official announcement, the symbolism of the day is being analyzed, discussed, and shared widely. Finally, insiders suggest that this moment may serve as a blueprint for future celebrations. It demonstrates a model in which private acknowledgement, careful orchestration, and visible approval combine to mark significant milestones. This approach allows the family to celebrate meaningfully while controlling public perception and maintaining privacy. Most people still don't know the full story. Yet, those who witnessed the event say it was unforgettable. A balance of emotion, tradition, respect, and joy created a moment that will likely be remembered as a turning point. Josie Duggar's transition into this next chapter, with James by her side and Jim Bob Duggar's approval at the forefront, is now part of the family's evolving history. If this story moved you, or if you've been following the Duggar family closely, share your thoughts. Comment on what this event might mean for future celebrations. Stay alert. Watch carefully, because in a family like the Duggars, the story is never truly over, and every milestone carries weight far beyond the day itself. The celebration may have ended, but the implications, the approval, and the transition have only just begun. And the Duggar family, known for its careful management of milestones and traditions, has once again reminded everyone that the smallest gestures, the quietest acknowledgments, and the most carefully curated events can speak louder than any public announcement ever could. The story continues, and when new details emerge, it will be shared with the same scrutiny, respect, and attention to detail that this moment so clearly deserved. Josie Duggar's new chapter has begun, and the world is watching quietly, wondering what comes next, and what this celebration truly signifies for the next generation of the Duggar family. Stay tuned, stay alert, and watch closely because this story is far from over.